It is Monday, and you all know what time it is. We still have some NFL football stuff to talk about. We got the Giants in the news. We got some extensions for coaches at the high level and at the college level. We'll talk about the Patriots adding Stefon Diggs. We've got all that good stuff coming up for you guys. So do us a favor. Kick back, relax, because episode number 37 of 609 Sports Talk begins right now. And welcome in everybody back to another edition of 609 Sports Talk live here on Facebook, live over on YouTube. And of course, you can always catch us over on Spotify where these episodes drop every single Wednesday. And of course, you guys know the truth by now. This is the show that we unite fans, we ignite debate, we talk a whole bunch of football. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams, Mr. Adams. Happy Monday, first off.
Happy Monday.
How are we on this? Right now, decent weather Monday. I'm sure in the next hour or two that's going to change.
Well, you know what? The 2025 NFL season has not kicked off yet. Therefore, it is still Victory Monday.
Oh, it'll be Victory Monday for the next 6 months.
Exactly.
Well, look, we have some things to talk about tonight, NFL, college football news keeps on pouring in. Ravens making some splashes with some extensions for John Harbaugh. Colorado extended Coach Prime. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we're going to get into some free agency news once again, and we're going to start off with those New York Football Giants. They've been in the news recently. Even after signing Jameis Winston to a 2-year deal worth $8 million, the Giants then went above just that, went on, signed Russell Wilson last week. 1 year, can go up to $21 million with, of course, 10.5 guaranteed. It will reach the 21. Of course, there's incentives and performance-based stuff in that deal, so we know where that's going to go. However, this now leads you to the question, where do the Giants go with the number 3 overall pick? So, Tyler, the question to start the show, everyone in the chat, including Anthony, who's already in the chat, I'll get them comments coming in a second. I'm going to start the show with the famous question. Tyler, does the acquisitions of Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson make the Giants not take a possible quarterback at number 3? He's out of here, people.
You want me to talk about the damn Giants situation?
Well, what else is there to talk about?
Oh, man. So here's the thing, right? Normally I would say, okay, maybe they can draft a young quarterback. Maybe they can. The thing that you hate the most, Sam, if they're drafting the top 10, they have to play right away. But I wouldn't even suggest drafting a quarterback and putting them behind those 2 quarterbacks. What the hell is he going to learn how to do? Throw an interception on the goal line in the Super Bowl? Or throw 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns his first year? What is he going to learn from? It's not even a situation, not even a good learning experience for a young quarterback. So the Giants have their 2 guys that are going to hold them over for the year. Sorry, Giants fans, it's going to be another year of mediocrity. They're probably going to tank again. I think at this point, the Giants just might tank until Arch is coming out of college. They're going to wait 3 years for him. They're just going to have all these 1-year deal quarterbacks, just sacrificing all of them. And Dable won't be there long enough to see that happen. But realistically, what does Russell Wilson do for the Giants? Maybe he makes them a 6-7 win team, being generous here. But then that also puts the Giants in a bad spot because that's horrible. That's still going to finish last in the NFC East behind the
Yeah.
Cowboys. And you're taking yourself out of a top pick as well by winning that many games. So I realistically don't see the Giants going anywhere this year. Just like I didn't see them going anywhere last year until they have a quarterback that is proven and that can actually strike fear into a team. Then this isn't their year. And it doesn't make sense to draft a young quarterback because I'm not putting a young quarterback in that room behind those two. Because, like I said before, what the hell is he going to learn? Nothing.
Okay, fair enough. So I want to look at this in two ways. I have two ways I want to look at this. First off, Jameis Winston, he is what he is. He signed a 2-year deal.
He's a backup.
Yeah, he's going to be a backup there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, I find that interesting in terms of the fact that he got a 2-year deal, Russ only got one. So the reason I find that interesting is because here's the thing. After this year, what do? What's the free agent? First of all, I don't know what Russell Wilson was thinking signing with the Giants in the first place.
He just wanted that money. He saw, what was it, 1 year, $20 million, or was it 22?
It's 1 year. I think it's worth up to $21 million with incentives and performance-based stuff. They'll probably pay him most of it. Wouldn't see why they wouldn't, but there's a lot of incentives in the deal. I don't personally know what they are, but that's where the contract is. First off, if I was Russ, I would have much rather just returned to Pittsburgh if these are my options.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the question you have to ask yourself, was that an option? Were the Steelers even offering Russ a chance to come back?
I think he did it more so in spite of them waiting out other options to choose him as the final option, their last resort. And I think he was like, all right, you know what? They offer me a deal. Screw you guys. I'm not waiting around. Go take the money, play there for a year. Call it a day.
Yeah, and we don't know what Russ's career looks like after 2025. He's not young.
Nope. He's not getting better.
He's definitely not getting better, and that situation over in New York is not better for him than what he had in Pittsburgh, and that is saying something.
Yeah. I'm going to say a bold take here. I think Justin Fields has a better situation on his New York team than Russell Wilson does on his.
All right, so real quickly, let's get into some comments here. Anthony has a flurry of comments here that we have to get to, and his first one of the ones he said was, if the Giants have a bad season again, Dable and Joe Shane are gone. Guaranteed. I have no doubts in my mind that those two are both getting fired at the end of the season.
Yep.
Now, here's where the reason I wanted to start at these comments with Anthony, because I see the ones about the Ravens, and I want to keep those maybe towards the latter half of the show, because we are going to talk Ravens later on. But if they draft a quarterback, it makes no sense. Yes, it would be the weirdest thing in the world to sign 2 quarterbacks in a week and then draft one at 3. Here is the problem with the Giants. We talked about this earlier in the offseason with Matthew Stafford when those rumors are flying all over the place. Talking about, he'll buy you a couple years. Maybe they should draft a quarterback and develop him to try to save their job. Why am I making it sound like you guys are switching the narrative now? Why should they still not take a quarterback at 3? Russell Wilson's only there for a year. So at this time next year, Your only two quarterbacks on your roster could be Jameis Winston and Tommy Cutlets.
But you have to look at it from the other side. You know, I'm a big advocate of, having having a kid, no matter if he's drafted in the top 10 or not, play a year behind a valid, established quarterback, somewhat established quarterback.
Yes.
I don't see any quarterback learning a damn thing sitting on the bench behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
Okay, I'm hearing you with Jameis. I'm hearing you there. Are you? See? Here's my issue with you right now. Are we ignoring all the years in Seattle?
I mean, you're going back far for those years in Seattle.
That's still a Super Bowl winning quarterback, regardless of what has happened since. Guys get older. Okay? Guys get older. Their play declines. It happens.
I think Russell Wilson was a product of a very good system he was in.
Okay. He was pretty solid last year. He's been solid for the. He had his worst year came his first year in Denver. Look who ran that system, Nathaniel Hackett. He was good. He was good last year in Denver. Peyton had him playing good. Last year he was playing fine until freaking the Steelers do what they always do, and that is not forget how to coach the offensive side of the football. Russell Wilson played a damn near decade with one of the worst offensive lines in football, and Seattle was still a premium contender every year. And this is not Legion of Boom stuff we're talking. I'm talking after that. I'm talking after Legion of Boom, when the defense got to the point of being just mid. I'm not even at the Legion of Boom. They were still contenders every year almost until the last couple of years when Pete and Russ clearly just it was time for everybody to get go. Seahawks needed to move on, and Pete Carroll needed to move on. Russell Wilson needed to move on. Well, I haven't really seen Seattle do much since those days, so I just want to point that out. But
yeah, I think Seattle's won more games than Russ has in his little journey he's been on so far.
That's fine, Russ, and they got the same amount of Super Bowls in that time span too. But still, there's still a question to be answered. If and when Russell Wilson leaves New York, which is probably going to be after the year, again, we don't know Russell Wilson's plan. He doesn't go on 18 darkness retreats like Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what his plan is. You thought the LeBron James decision on live on ESPN was bad. Look what Aaron Rodgers is doing. But the question is, what do you do after Russ is no longer there after next year? Okay, this year's fine. That's cool. What happens in 2026? Jameis and Tommy Soprano for the freaking starter? Is that what we're looking at here?
No, because by the time next year's draft rolls around, we're going to have another top 5 pick.
Okay, and now here's the other question. Okay, so let's go with the hypothetical situation. They don't take a quarterback at 3. Who are they drafting?
I don't know. Do we need to pull up a...
Well, I mean, I think we're basically sure. You want to
let's think about this real quick. Aside from Cam Ward, who do you legitimately have as a good first-round quarterback?
There's only 2 guys that are going to go in the first round in my eyes. It's going to be Cam and it's going to be Shedeur.
It's going to be Shedeur, but I still don't think Shedeur's first-round pick.
Okay.
But he's gonna go because he's the next best thing aside from Cam Ward.
So why not take him at 3 and have him step behind Russ for a year and learn everything?
Stupid. Just lose your season out again like you're going to.
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
But anyway.
But lose out your season again. It's gonna happen. Russ will sit there and win you 6 games. Maybe they'll tell him to tank a little more and they'll only win like 4 games. Wait for a potentially better quarterback class next year. Because if I'm the Giants, if they're already not sold on Shadur Sanders, which honestly, signing Russ kind of makes it seem like they're not sold on him, just wait it out again another year. What's another year going to do? Russell Wilson's not coming in to win you the division.
Well, what are you waiting another year for?
For a better quarterback. Because they can't get Cam Ward. I don't know.
Are we talking about Drew Aller here?
Never know.
Well, real quickly,
we could be talking about Drew Aller.
Real quickly, Anthony rebuts and says the Giants are going to draft a quarterback and have 4 quarterbacks. No, it's called Tommy Cutlets. Hit the bricks. Tommy DeVito stinks. If they draft Shador, Tommy DeVito's not seeing the roster past training camp.
Yeah, no. I don't see them taking. Let me pull up a mock draft while you get your final thoughts out.
Well, real quickly, everyone's favorite Eagles fan is here. What's up, Carol? Carol, hope you're having a lovely Monday. Hope everyone's having a lovely Monday. I was having a lovely Monday till everybody disagrees with my thought process. It was a bad idea to acquire Matthew Stafford. We were talking about drafting a quarterback that was a better option for the Giants. Now that I'm proposing it, it's a bad idea this way around. That's how this works.
Yep.
I propose. Okay.
Yep.
Well, all right. So Russell. All right. So we're sitting here in 2026. Russell Wilson leaves. We don't have a good enough draft pick for a quarterback, and we're stuck with Jameis Winston.
So I think we're also forgetting a lot as well. We don't know what the Cleveland Browns are going to do because the Cleveland Browns are just a train wreck. That's a team I see. Look at the years of desperation. Moving on from Deshaun Watson, Shadur Sanders is like calling the Browns' name.
Like, yeah, because I mean the only healthy quarterback. The only healthy quarterback they have is Kenny Pickett.
They're going to go with Kenny Pickett. They got now. Here's where I'll defend Shadur Sanders. I don't think I've ever seen Shadur Sanders throw a football straight into the ground.
Yeah.
Agreed. So Cleveland is not going into this season with Kenny Pickett as their starting quarterback. Not going to happen. He was traded there to be a backup. I don't even think Shadur makes it to the Giants to even be an option.
Oh, great. So now they're going to go Abdul Carter and make my life miserable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking, some of them, the one mock draft that PFF has, it's got Ward to Tennessee. Ward to Tennessee is a lock. It's going to happen.
Can Ian Rappaport please stop with they are still fielding calls for the number 1 overall pick,
sure.
But it needs to take a king's ransom. Dude, the quarterbacks on Tennessee's roster are Brandon Allen, Tim Boyle, and Will Mayo. I mean,
exactly.
Levis. And we'll talk, but it's a guarantee who they're taking at 1.
Yeah.
But apparently Cleveland really likes Abdul Carter. And
yeah. But I could understand if they had at least a mediocre quarterback and they just said, we're banking on having a healthier Nick Chubb. We're going to ground and pound and play lights out defense and win gritty games. I could totally understand that, right?
Sir, you are aware Nick Chubb is not a Cleveland Brown right now, right?
What happened to him?
He is a free agent.
Oh, God, this man's not going to sign with any team. He's going to be like an August pickup on some team.
Eagles are going to sign the backup Saquon. It's going to be over.
Okay. Right, we already got one backup coming off a major injury. All right, I don't need 2.
Who's the other one?
AJ Dillon.
Okay.
He like broke
Mr.
his neck.
Okay, he's got like a $700,000 guaranteed
No, I
money.
know
That
that,
screams
but
roster to me.
are you mad if AJ Dillon makes the roster?
No, I'm saying if Nick Chubb were here, I wouldn't even think twice.
Oh man, that ACL injury looked like it took a couple steps away from him. Not even just one step.
So Anthony wants to know how would Anthony Richardson's future be if Daniel Jones beats him out for the starting job?
Anthony Richardson will be a future Cleveland Brown.
You know, I could see that. I hope George and the boys over there aren't watching, but I could see that.
Sorry, Browns fans.
Yeah, that's definitely some scary thoughts here. I'm kind of scared about that, but just backtrack a little bit here. Again, let's just say, if Shador is there at 3, do you really think the Giants are going to not take him? They have no future.
They could draft Travis Hunter.
For what?
I don't know. Hey,
he might as well.
Then they'll have Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter. Surely Russ can do something with that, right?
Tyler, Travis Hunter will ask to go to full-time corner because there will be no quarterback to throw him the football. He will beg Brian Daboll, do not make me play receiver. And what is Travis Hunter does what for you without a quarterback?
I don't know, more checkdowns.
Nothing. The Giants are in this spot because they do not have a long-term answer at quarterback. And as we are sitting here talking about them right now, they still do not have a long-term answer at quarterback. So, if you think about it, a lot of people think, some people think Shador Sanders is not worthy of a top 10 pick. You even think he's not even worthy of a first-round pick. Okay, well, newsflash. He's going to be taken in the top 10.
It's
going to happen. You take him, you let him sit a year behind Russell Wilson, who, regardless of people's opinions, because apparently the last 4 years exist, but anything before that doesn't. You take that and let him sit behind a guy who has won something in this league, who has been a pretty damn good quarterback at the highest level. You let him learn from that. Okay. But you're sold with Jameis Winston being the starter in 2026.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Eating W's all day.
Okay.
Dreams.
Shador Sanders at 3 is the right pick. You need a quarterback for the long term. A 36-year-old Russell Wilson does not give you anything else than 1 year. Because
I agree. And then just draft someone next year. Sam, you just don't want the Giants to get Drew Aller. That's what it is. You're playing the long game.
I mean, if you look at both of them, is there really a clear difference on who the better pro quarterback's going to be between Drew Aller and Shador Sanders?
Well, here's the thing, right?
I don't know about that.
One guy decided to go back to school to prove himself.
Okay.
The other one decided, okay, my moneymaker Travis Hunter is going to the draft. I might as well take my chances. And it's going to work out for him. He's going to be drafted in the top 10. He's technically the second best quarterback in the draft. So, yeah, I can't blame him for declaring for the draft. I can't. But honestly, stacking him up toe-to-toe, I think Drew Aller's better than him.
And look, there's going to be other quarterbacks that are going to go in the first round. Like, honestly, Jackson Dart, there's a chance he may go in the first round. Now that we're getting closer, because just think of this. Not only are we in the last day of March, we are literally less than a month away from the draft. We're like 3 weeks out.
Yep.
There are talks that Jalen Milroe is potentially a first-round pick now.
Shoot. Please stop. Oh my gosh.
We know why that's happening. You look at Jalen Milroe. Who do people think look at him as? They think he's the next Jalen Hurts.
Give me a break.
So that's what I'm just saying. That's what people are going to view him as.
Give me a break. Dude couldn't even lead his team to a freaking expanded college football playoff format.
He did when he had Saban. Sometimes losing the one of the greatest coaches in football history kind of matters. But no, the point is, what is the point of taking a guy like Travis Hunter, who's going to be a really good player? That's no doubt. Abdul Carter is going to be a phenomenal player. All these guys are going to be great players. But you don't win anything in this league until you solve the long-term problem, which is your quarterback. Sure, Russell Wilson's going to come in this year. He'll probably put up decent numbers, somewhere from maybe 3,200 passing yards, maybe 20 touchdown passes, with 16 of them going to Malik Neighbors. Theo Johnson will probably catch the other 4 because the rest of their pass catchers will stink. I'm also just a big Theo Johnson guy because, hello, Penn State. But where do we go after that? Don't get me wrong. You can draft Travis Hunter. That's fine. You can go draft him, pair him with Malik Neighbors, and you're like, okay. Because the Giants have spent some money on defense as well.
Yeah.
They're trying to fix the defense. And trust me, as an Eagles fan, I know we have the best offensive line in football, which I can comfortably say now after what I saw this year. I can comfortably say we have the best offensive line in football. Not that you couldn't say it all last year anyway, but still.
Yeah.
They're a 3-headed monster of Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter. That will scare some teams.
It would.
The
only issue is who's losing snaps.
Well, Carter will start out rotating at first, even though he'd be the number 3 overall pick. There's still 2 guys that have been established that have been there longer. That you gave Brian Burns a lot of money, so you can't just rightfully say, hey.
Honestly, you know what a good pick for the Giants would be? O-line. Keep building it.
Kid from LSU?
Yeah. Either the kid
Put
from
him on
LSU
the right side.
or who's the other one?
Tyler, I haven't looked at my
kid from
Tyler,
Texas.
Tyler, I haven't looked at any draft stuff yet. I'm starting that this week.
He's slacking.
It's April 1st tomorrow. I always start it the first week of April.
Slacking.
I'm not slacking.
Slacking. All right, there's a lot of offensive linemen that might go in the first 15. This kid from Missouri, the kid from Texas, LSU.
There's a lot of kids from the whole Texas O-line's getting drafted.
I don't know about that. A couple of them. I think a couple of them, but not the whole O-line.
So Anthony asked, can we stop hyping Alabama quarterbacks?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Mine was drafted out of Oklahoma, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
It almost makes you start questioning Alabama's coaching when it comes to quarterbacks. Because I'm sorry,
honestly,
Jalen went to Oklahoma, got his team to the Final Four back when it was still only a 14 format, and had his best passing statistical season of his collegiate career. So Lincoln Riley may know something that some coaches at Bama didn't. But I'm going to leave this at they need. I still think drafting Shador at 3 is a very big opportunity. I still think it's in play because once again, I understand, and I'm agreeing with you. You go get a right tackle for the future. Say you go after Drew Aller next year or whoever else is coming out for college next year. I have to go look at the quarterbacks for next college year. Don't get me started. I'm still trying to figure out how to do all this freaking draft stuff. So, okay. Listen, I can't follow 2025 college football when I haven't even gotten to the 2025 NFL draft, okay? But you have two options here. I say you either go with your option, you take a right tackle maybe, try to shore up the ends. Andrew Thomas turned into a solid player.
Yeah.
So you got your number one wide receiver. You go draft an offensive lineman. You work with Russ for a year. Jameis will still be here. Then you go get a Drew Aller maybe. I don't want to see that personally, but it is what it is. Or you just stop playing the game and waiting. You take Shador. If he's there at 3, you see what you can do. But now that's the question.
The desperation of, head coach and GM also is going to be felt. Because they might look at it as, okay, even let's say they do take Shador.
Okay.
With both of their jobs on the line, do you not envision them, if they think they see something, do you not envision them starting him? Because what do you have to lose at that point? He either lights the world on fire or they get fired.
Agreed. Wait a second. I'm the one that said this to you last month when with the whole Stafford thing. Who are you now? Why are we switching roles here? Don't do that. Don't switch that. We're not literally switching roles here, buddy. But
I'm the captain.
All right,
we'll go back.
Let's give one last opinion for this. Tyler, it's a quick yes or no. The acquisitions of Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, they are going to make the Giants end up not taking a quarterback at number 3. Yes or no?
My answer is it's the New York Football Giants. I do not know.
I do not know.
We could sit here and make all these great points, and at the end of the day, it's the Giants. We don't know what they're going to do.
I think the biggest problem with this question is the team sitting in front of them.
Yeah, we don't know what Cleveland's going to do either.
That's why this is a tough question. I thought it was a good question to start the show with.
They're another team.
Yeah. I mean, at least the Giants, they have a couple of quarterbacks on their roster. The Cleveland Browns right now have Kenny Pickett and a one-legged Deshaun Watson, who you're not going to see this year. So, it's a tough question to answer because we honestly could sit here comfortably right now and tell people we don't know. Anthony says Sanders gets drafted to New York, but not to start. Then Deion's going to blast the Giants for not starting him. Oh, boy. No, Deion's just going to wait out a year and then go to the Giants and then start his son.
Giants are going to buy out his contract.
Nah, it's not hard to do. And Anthony says he thinks the Browns are 100% getting Abdul Carter.
A lot of things point to it, but at the end of the day,
they're going to get Carter and then trade for Kirk Cousins. People are forgetting about that.
No, I know. I didn't forget about Kirk. I know he's still lingering.
Kirk is the wild card in this whole thing.
But it's up to the Falcons if they want to wait to move him when teams are more desperate.
Oh, no, I envision Kirk being traded either the last day of the draft when all the options are gone, or a week to maybe a couple weeks after when things are set in stone. And Mike said that sounds pretty good for the Giants. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Miss you, Mike. I see Mike Mike. We miss you in the comments, buddy. But yeah, again, do you keep playing this game and keep pushing it down the road with the quarterback stuff? You already missed the last one, which we all could have told you that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
But just go get your guy now. If you
but
think
I don't know,
Shador's your guy, go get him.
They thought Daniel Jones was their guy, and they went and got him, and they extended him, and then they released him.
Hold on. I think we can sit on this show and comfortably say that Shador Sanders is better than Daniel Jones.
But I agree, but there is a but.
Oh, there is.
Is he what the Giants need?
They've run out of time to assess that.
Need to. At this point, Giants fans can't get any more disappointed than they already are. All right, they watch the face of their franchise get refused a contract, go win a Super Bowl with a new team, division rival at that, and get the rushing title in 1 year. Giants fans have nothing to lose. The only people that have things to lose are the head coach and GM. That's it.
I agree. And I feel bad for Brian Daboll. I think Daboll's a really good coach.
I think
he just doesn't have the quarterback.
Yeah. Because, could have went for Jaden Daniels.
You only get this job once in your lifetime.
Yeah, you only get this job once, son.
I think, though, we can all comfortably sit here and say that the 609 draft show this year is going to be one heck of a time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for it. I am really, really excited for that. I think that's going to be a fun night. Gotta see if Georgie wants to join us again, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, all right, we've been talking about the Giants for 37 minutes, and I kind of have a headache doing it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, George, Russell Wilson, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, the Steelers were apparently having a quarterback competition last year, which turned into Justin Fields because Wilson got hurt, and then Wilson took the job for the rest of the season. So, and now there's another thing. If you do draft Shador, let me just ask this real quickly. Do you just commit to a starter, or are we letting these guys battle it out in training camp?
They're going to let them battle it out.
I like my idea of, the bridge quarterback, Russ for a year, Shador comes in. Because then here's the thing. Think of this, too. You have Russell Wilson for a year, Shador sits behind him and learns. Regardless of your opinion, what he's learning. But he'll learn from somebody who has had a very successful NFL career.
Then what does that do for Daboll and the other guy?
I'm not there yet, okay?
Okay, continue.
But then, even when it's time for Shador to take over in 26, you still have a capable backup at least in Jameis.
Yeah.
I just find it weird how these things this whole thing is going. This is a very strange situation for the New York Giants because you can make the case for them taking Shador. That's if Shador's even there. We have been talking about this now for over 39 minutes, and we may be talking about a scenario that doesn't even exist.
Yep.
Or heck, you know what? Maybe the Browns are getting calls for number 2, but they still want Abdul Carter. Giants could just trade up one spot. Imagine that. You trade back one pick, get some assets, and you still get Abdul Carter. Now that's a good GM right there. Now that would be a good trade. Maybe someone's trying to jump the Giants for a quarterback. We don't know. And so Anthony said it would make sense if you only sign Wilson and Sanders, not having Winston and Wilson and Sanders. Yeah, that part makes a little bit of sense, but again, if you're drafting Sanders, you're not drafting Sanders to compete in 2025. The Giants are not going to be competitive in 2025. I think we know this. You're drafting Sanders to be the long-term option. So then in 2026, after Russ leaves, then you have Shador stepping in as the starter, and he still has a capable backup behind him.
So you're telling me no matter who they draft, the Giants are going to have a new head coach GM combo by next season, which would be the 2026 season I'm referring to.
Yeah, it'll be Deion Sanders. I'm clearly kidding. But and that's what the Giants deserve. They have put themselves in this terrible position. Joe Shane has put them in a terrible position. The Barkley thing is just is like an outlier at this point. This whole thing has turned to a joke.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the Giants, they are damned if they do or damned if they don't.
They are.
Now look, if you're sitting there at 3 and Cam Ward went to the Titans and Shador goes to the Browns, there's nothing you can do. But at that point, don't even think about guys like Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe. Don't even freaking think about it. That is
God, they're going to pull another Kadarius Toney.
You go take because what did we see in the Super Bowl? What wins in this league? Getting to the quarterback. So how about big old Penn State boy to come help you out with that? And I hate saying that.
Or you take an offensive lineman.
That too. You know what? I actually like that better than my idea because you know what? You build your tackles up. You can find interior offensive linemen in free agency because for some reason teams just love to let them go. Unless they're the Eagles.
Yep.
So the Giants have put themselves in this position. Now we just wait to see what happens on April 24th. It's going to be a very fun draft season around here.
Oh, yeah.
But all right, let's move on to topic number 2 on the night. Patriots. They finally landed their wide receiver, Tyler. They landed a 3-year deal with wide receiver Stefon Diggs. 3 years, $69 million, $26 million guaranteed. Tyler, what are your thoughts on the Stefon Diggs deal to New England?
So you say they finally landed their guy, their wide receiver.
No, I just meant a wide receiver because at this point,
he is a wide receiver. He is a wide receiver coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much they really thought that through. Now, he'll still be good. Is he going to be what we saw? Forget even the Vikings days, just what he did in Buffalo. Are we going to see even 90% of that? This ain't the Tom Brady era anymore. You can't just have any wide receiver look good over there.
No.
And so Diggs before an ACL injury would have been like, oh my gosh, the signing of the offseason. Biggest move of the offseason. How did the Patriots pull that off? You got a guy coming off a major injury. We don't know how impactful he's going to be right off the bat because those injuries, they take time. And he got hurt. What was it, like week 6 or something? Week 8?
Like week 8, week 9.
So like middle of the season. So I like it. It's something. They're trying at least. They're trying to get some help in there. But too little, too late, possibly. Now, that's another team that there's a lot of rumors of Travis Hunter going to? Now, having Travis Hunter to be able to take some pressure off of Stefon Diggs, put Stefon Diggs down to a wide receiver 2 role, basically almost having 2 wide receiver 1s. I can see some problems happening over there in New England.
Yeah, I could agree because, and also, it would be interesting to see what would happen with Travis Hunter in New England because, first of all, we could agree Christian Gonzalez is going to be a big name corner in about another year. He already is damn good. But Hunter wouldn't even be his opposite because they just signed Carlton Davis. So
I'm not even thinking about them drafting him. He's not playing 2 positions in the NFL.
But if he is, it won't be full time.
Coaches aren't going to let him.
Your body's not going to be able to hold up for more than, 5 years? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. If he's going in the top 5, the team's going to want him healthy for over a decade.
Yeah. So, essentially, you draft him and say, look, which position do you want to play?
I'd tell him straight up, I'm drafting you as a wide receiver. You're going to be my number 1 wide receiver.
But now, my whole thing with the Diggs stuff, he was having a very good season before he got hurt. I
know he was. I had him on my fantasy team. Just like every other person who got injured last year.
We're not going to talk about that, sir. But through 8 games last year before the injury, 47 receptions, 496 yards. That's 62 yards exactly per game, 10.6 yards a catch, and 3 touchdowns.
A lot of people they were confused when that trade happened. They were like, why are you sending him to a team that already has 2 established wide receivers? Well, they both get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And also, Stefon Diggs still Stefon Diggs.
Yeah.
So he came in, he did his thing. He got hurt too. Seems to be a recurring theme amongst Texans wide receivers.
Well, God, we're not going to see Tank Dell again until 2026.
Yeah.
But I will say, for a soon-to-be 32-year-old, because he's going to be 32 at the end of November, for a guy that's going to be 32 coming off of a major injury like that, I am very surprised he got this lucrative of a deal.
He got paid a lot.
Yes. I would also, I haven't looked at the details or anything like that. I'm not Howie Roseman. I'm not looking through Twitter to find contract details all day. I would be surprised if anything in that deal is guaranteed in year 3. I guarantee you the 3rd year is, if there's anything guaranteed, it's the minimum.
Yep.
Because, I mean, at that point, it's going to be, 34, 35 almost? Come on.
Yep.
So Mike said it will be a while for the Pats to regroup. Well, and then he also went on to say that probably 2027 will be a good season. You know what, Mike? That may be a realistic time frame. Yeah. I like what they've done. They've loaded up their defense. Here, hold on. I have it right here. They've had a loaded offseason.
But yeah, 2027, I'm assuming a good season is like them making a playoff run. I could see them getting to the playoffs this year. If
you think so?
If they draft Travis Hunter. Because I think Travis Hunter with Stefon Diggs would transcend that offense. And like you said, they've just been building the defense. I think they'll probably have especially with Vrabel in there, they're going to have a great defense, and I think they would have that offense moving. So they'd be putting some pressure on the Bills.
So Pat's biggest needs heading into the offseason was offensive line, offensive weapons, and defenses a total, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here's where so they need help on defense. Okay. Defensive tackle, Milton Williams. Defensive end, Harold Landry. Cornerback, Carlton Davis. Linebacker, Robert Spillane. Okay, I didn't even realize they signed this guy. They actually signed Marcus Epps. There's an old friend for you.
That's a wrap.
Go to the offensive line. You need some interior help. They signed Garrett Bradbury after the Vikings released him for 2 years. They needed some tackle help. They signed Morgan Moses. And now you signed Stefon Diggs. They've had a good offseason. They've spent their available cap space. Give them that credit. They spent money when they could.
Yeah.
Mike, just so you know, we are not New England fans. In case you're referring to us, we are not Patriots fans. We are Eagles fans. But no, back to the Diggs deal. I'm surprised he got I'm surprised he got a 3-year deal. But I'm sure it's only structured as a 2-year deal. Probably. I guarantee you that third year does not have anything guaranteed. And if it does, like I said, minimum. And, I mean, there's only $26 million guaranteed, so I'm sure there are incentives out the you-know-what in this contract.
Mm-hmm.
I could have expected something of like a 2-year deal, maybe around $30 million. I could even sell a 1-year deal. I did not expect Diggs to get that lucrative of a deal in free agency because of that injury. And the fact that he's about to be 32 years old. So, I mean, look, it's a proven guy for Drake May to throw the football to, which is what they desperately need. I mean, if you just look at the Patriots before signing Stefon Diggs, their offense is looking like, now this is before they signed Diggs. Running back, Ramondre and Antonio Gibson. They also signed Josh Dobbs to be their backup quarterback, too. But, I mean, if you look at their wide receivers, Javon Baker, don't know who that is. Kendrick Bourne, okay. Demario Douglas, I mean, he's probably their best wide receiver, and he had 600 yards last year. They signed Mac Hollins, okay. They had Jalen Polk, who they took in the second round of last year. He only had 12 catches for 87 yards on the whole season. And then their tight end room is solid. You know, Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry. So I mean, they have some pieces, at least at tight end. But at wide receiver, yeah, Stefon Diggs, if you overpaid a little bit, you kind of had no choice.
Yeah, they had no choice.
Now, if you add Travis Hunter to the mix, you got Douglas on one side, Hunter and Diggs, Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, Ramondre Stevenson. Okay. Now we may be talking a little bit of something. So, it's a good move for the Patriots, but again, okay, I'm getting annoyed now. This stuff's getting really annoying. But anyway, no, get that off there. But anyway, like I said, I like the move. It's a good move. I didn't expect the contract to be where it's at.
Yeah, definitely.
And Mike said, "Bring back Brady." Mike, I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised they put in a call. They've probably been calling him ever since he went to Tampa a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But in honor of the New England Patriots and their wide receiver talent, or lack thereof, it is time for Tyler's favorite night part of the show. It is trivia time. Tyler, are you kidding me? Did you really just leave? Or are you actually kidding me? You left the show for 5 seconds? Are you serious? All right, Tyler.
The show until the segment's over.
I'm not going to make this too much of a hard question for you this week, my friend. I've got better ones. Wait till we get to some other shows. Then it's going to be real fun. But, Tyler, tonight's trivia question for you. And fans, if you're listening, care to throw the comment out yourself. Can you name the last Patriots wide receiver to go over 1,000 yards?
Doesn't look like I care who the last Patriots receiver was to go over 1,000 yards.
I don't care if you care. You got to answer the
Randy
question.
Moss.
Oh my God, dude! How old do you think
All
we
right,
are?
all right. Edelman.
Oh, you are correct.
There's not that many great Patriots wide receivers, Sam.
But can you name what year was it?
Jesus, year.
This is not that hard.
2015.
Nah, a little more recent.
A little more recent.
Anthony, it was not Randy Moss. It was Julian Edelman.
Edelman hasn't played in like a decade. How recent are you talking about?
2019.
Oh, damn, he's still playing in 2019? Forgot about him.
And
Gronk.
Anthony, Gronk would not count it because he's not a wide receiver.
Nope, Gronk counts.
Nope.
That's the correct answer.
I was hoping to get like some Danny Amendola or Chris Hogan guesses from
Why
the
the
fans.
hell would I guess Chris Hogan? Who would
I
guess
didn't
Chris
say
Hogan?
you.
Who would guess Chris Hogan?
I don't know, because Brandon Cooks would have been an interesting one too. He had 1,000 yards for that 1 year he played in New England.
Okay.
Mike
Wait,
said,
so Edelman
Mike
had
said
1,000 yards in 2019?
Edelman, yes.
What?
Yes. Julian Edelman had 1,000 yards in 2019.
Wow.
So that is the last Patriots wide receiver to have 1,000 yards. That just shows you how bad their wide receivers have been since then. He had 1,117 that year.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to add this on to make your life even more miserable. Can you name how many times Julian Edelman had 1,000 yards in his career? Just for the little fun. Can you name that for me?
5.
Close. 3. You're actually very close because he had 2 years. He had 1 year of 850 and another year at 972. So you were close. But no, he had 3. He did in 2019, like I said, 2016, and 2013. For the Patriots, Anthony, most likely all their 1,000-yard receivers are slot guys because
pretty much Edelman, Welker.
Yo, Welker was the shifty little man. That dude played with Hall of Famers all his whole career. Manning, Brady.
Yep.
Well, Tyler, thank you for playing this week of 609 Trivia. Tune in next week for another episode of me torturing Mr. Adams. All right. Moving on to our final couple little segments that we have for you guys tonight, we're going to jump into some coaching extension. And we'll stay in the NFL first because we can just keep it all, the NFL stuff together. Tyler, the Ravens, extending head coach John Harbaugh for 3 years, keeping him in Baltimore through the 2028 season. Would you like to put some thoughts on that? Because I have to go find some comments from Anthony from earlier.
What else are they gonna do? Let him walk? The man who went from Joe freaking Flacco to revamping his offense to a mobile quarterback?
He's probably one of the few head coaches that has made that transition and has succeeded at both.
Yeah. So it comes as no surprise. Harbaugh's going to be in the league for a while. Both of them.
I mean, he's already been in the league for a while.
I know. He's not going anywhere.
No. He's one of the best. He's one of the better coaches in football. He is exactly the stereotypical CEO head coach. He lets defensive coordinator run their unit. He lets offensive coordinator do their job, and he's just there. John's one of the better head coaches in the league. He's got Baltimore in the thick of the AFC playoff picture every year. Not just AFC playoff contender, like they are Super Bowl contenders every year.
Yeah.
They just somehow find the worst luck in the world. Mark Andrews. I mean, they are. They're literally a Mark Andrews catch away from possibly playing against Kansas City again.
Yep.
Because I think the Ravens beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be no disrespect to Josh Allen. That Bills team was not prepared for the Chiefs.
Nope.
But now, so I want to backtrack a second here, back to the beginning of the show. Anthony threw some comments in right away earlier, and he said the Ravens are talking about making Lamar the highest paid player in history. And he asked for what? He hasn't done anything. So since we're on the topic of the Ravens, Tyler, would you like to answer that?
I would. Because you have to look at the broad landscape of the NFL. You only have a certain category of quarterbacks in the league. Now, we can easily say, okay, Joe Burrow's a better quarterback. Why isn't he the highest paid? He reset the market, didn't he? It was his time to get paid. He reset the market. All these guys, if you're not planning on moving away from a quarterback, which, newsflash, they're not going anywhere from Lamar. He is the quarterback of their present and their future. He's gotten them a lot of success so far. Hasn't gotten all the way there, but it's gotten them a lot of success. He's what, 2-time MVP? Am I missing a year? Is it 2-time?
No, it's 2-time, but he should have won this past year too.
I don't know about that. Saquon should have won this past year. Let's be with that.
Also agreed. Just real quick before you continue, Mike, have a good night, my friend. Thank you for
See you,
joining
Mike.
us tonight.
But yeah, all these great quarterbacks, and yes, I put Lamar Jackson in this category.
Which he is.
You can find other quarterbacks that you could say are better than him. Yeah, that's true. He's still in that category of a game-changing quarterback. So, of course, when it's time for him to get his money, he's going to be amongst the highest paid. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to stay the highest paid. There's going to be another guy who just comes up and gets the most money. It's a never-ending cycle. But the way he's played so far, when it's time for that extension, he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
He's going to reset the market.
I agree. And just a news flash for everybody, it's the NFL. These markets are resetting every single week.
Yep.
The wide receiver market just got reset by Jamar Chase.
Yep.
And this is why teams, Micah Parsons, he's probably going to reset the market for
too.
Defensive, for non-quarterbacks.
Yep, he will.
We'll talk about that next week. But no, Lamar's going to get a very big contract from the Ravens when it's time. He's deserving of it. That's coming from me. So, and a lot of it has to do with two things. It has to do with the fact that Lamar Jackson is a 2-time league MVP. And to tie it back into what we're talking about, it has to do with John Harbaugh and what he's helped turn Lamar into.
Yep.
Because we remember, Lamar was not a good passer when he entered the league. I have been critical of his passing since he entered the NFL.
Yeah. But it all started 2 years ago. Not the season before this past season. It started then. He made improvements. You look at his numbers year over year, he got better passing. This past year, he had one of the best years passing in his career. Low interception numbers, threw a lot of touchdowns, a lot of passing yards.
Hold on. Anthony, so Lamar is getting paid before Purdy? Absolutely. Hold on. Why are we putting Lamar Jackson in the same breath as Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy is not resetting no markets.
That's not what I've heard.
if the 49ers make this man the highest paid quarterback.
Remember when Niner
Oh
fans thought
my god.
Purdy was remember when Niner fans said that Jalen Hurts carried by an elite roster and Brock Purdy cleared him by a mile? Well, do you want to Niner fans? Do we want to revisit that, or do we want to let that go for now?
It's okay. Purdy's going to have a good year this year because Christian McCaffrey's on track for his, one healthy year, one unhealthy year. He's on track for his one healthy year this year. So I think the offense as a whole will definitely make Purdy look a lot better.
It's just funny that I think when we said Purdy, the 49er meter went off because look who's here. Mr. Zolt.
Yeah, he's got something to say about them. He
Purdy
heard people trash talking the 49ers. He had to join.
And the Zolt like came on. He's like, oh, I gotta go. But what's up, Zolt? Yeah, Purdy should get paid. The Niners don't have a lot of quarterback options unless they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years.
Purdy can get like 30 to 35 million a year, and he should be grateful for that.
Yeah, well, I'm not paying the guy. And for the people that this is the difference. This is what accolades in the NFL get you. People say Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson deserves to get paid because not only is he a 2-time MVP, the guy literally has improved every year. He has turned his weakness into a strength. People say that Jalen Hurts shouldn't have got paid. Jalen Hurts just came off a Super Bowl where he beat the best quarterback in football. Honestly, you may even see Jalen Hurts get a contract extension this offseason from the Eagles because to lower cap hits.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Oh, boy. Zolt said, don't get me wrong. I hope the 49ers give him a Deshaun Watson contract. I'll be able to laugh at that for a year. Oh, boy.
We don't wish that upon them.
Yeah, I don't wish that upon anybody. But no, this is the NFL. And Purdy, the one thing Purdy does have in his corner, he could say, I got us to a Super Bowl.
Did he?
I mean,
that's like Daniel Jones riding the coattails of Saquon Barkley and getting that contract. That was Saquon's contract.
Okay, you're comparing. All right, look, I think easily, if we could talk about this, the Giants would rather have Brock Purdy than Daniel Jones.
Yes, but they're still similar situations.
Oh, I agree.
Average quarterbacks. Now, granted, I think Purdy's a lot better than Daniel Jones, but still not great quarterbacks being carried by great running backs.
And no, I don't want to hear people saying that about Jalen Hurts. He took them to the Super Bowl with Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And, don't get me wrong. It's but see, that's the problem. Daniel Jones' contract is what makes all these guys think, well, I'm worth this, I'm worth that. When in reality, you're really not.
Oh. You just didn't play for the Giants. Play for the Giants, that money's all yours.
Oh, my God. We may have to do a segment called the worst contracts in NFL history. We may have to do that one day.
I'm surprised Russell Wilson didn't milk 30, 35 million out of them for 1 year.
21 for an average season is pretty damn finessing. But I will give the Giants credit for only offering about $10.5 million of that guaranteed. That's credit where credit is due. But
yeah.
Yes, but again, Deshaun Watson at that time was still a good player. Deshaun Watson was good player.
Can we go flashback years to when Eagles fans wanted the Eagles to trade for Deshaun Watson?
Or Russell Wilson? My, how far we've come.
This was back. This was when the Wentz downfall started, and nobody wanted to see Hurts. So they were like, okay, who can we trade for? Russell Wilson, maybe. Deshaun Watson.
All right.
Anybody, please.
So Anthony has a question. He's asking us, what do we think? Will Rodgers' contract be similar to Russell Wilson? I think Rodgers will probably get a little bit more.
Yeah. He probably should get paid like Russ, but being the name Aaron Rodgers, he's probably going to get like $30 million.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rodgers will get somewhere like a 1-year deal, $30 million, probably $18 million of that guaranteed, something like that. The Steelers will be dumb enough to do it because they're the Steelers and they're desperate.
Yep.
And now I agree with what Zolt says here. Watson in Houston was the most talented player in the NFL. Yes. And that's why I say, yes, Watson may have started it, but he started it for the right reason. He was playing at an elite level. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football in Houston. Then he went to Cleveland, and we all know what's happened.
Peak Watson and peak D-Hop together was scary.
Oh, my God. What could have been? That's just one of the biggest what could have beens in NFL history. But yeah, but back to Anthony's question. Rodgers will get way more guaranteed money in his deal with whoever he signs with, if he signs with anybody, than what Russell Wilson got. Russell Wilson last year started off good. You saw the decline later in the season. You saw how limited they were in the passing offense with him.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was still throwing pretty decent footballs last year with the Jets. So, and that was a year removed from the Achilles injury. So, I'm thinking Rodgers. Yeah, I'm thinking 1 year, like $30 million, something like that, 18, 19 million guaranteed. I'm sure there'll be plenty of incentives with performances and passing yards and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm comfortable with saying that Rodgers will probably get a little bit more. So, all right, Tyler. One last quick little segment. Tyler, we're going back to college. We got some college football news.
College, man.
For all the speculation all off season, Deion Sanders is not going anywhere. Coach Prime officially agreed to a new contract with the University of Colorado at 5 years, $54 million, making him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. Tyler, we're just going to get this segment going.
I heard they're getting him a new field, too.
Mm-hmm. Did Coach Prime deserve this extension?
He did. Be it who he is and his persona, he's an, how do I put this, in an enigmatic being. But he is a great football coach. From his days, coaching that HBCU team, getting the job at Colorado, turning Colorado around to being a more respectable team amongst, the hierarchy. Now, granted, they missed out. They didn't make the extended format of the playoffs this year. Not to say they didn't have a great year. They played okay, but what he's done in his time being there, it shows a lot. There's still a lot of work to be done. He's got to he needs to develop other players in other areas, because I don't see any offensive linemen coming out of Colorado for like the next 30 years. But it is going to be interesting now to see how Coach Prime looks without Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, because those were the two main pieces he brought with him to Colorado.
Yep.
And now that they're both going NFL bound, how does Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes look?
Yeah. And I mean, just to go back what you were saying earlier, I know we like to talk about Coach Prime. Just real quickly, I will answer this comment from Anthony. That's not a surprise whatsoever.
Yeah, I saw that earlier, and I was just like, okay, tell me something new. Swipe.
But anyway, he has brought, regardless of your opinions of Deion Sanders and the University of Colorado, you can hate him or love him, but you still talk about that. That's the biggest thing when it comes to Deion Sanders. All right, I'll agree with Anthony. It's more.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But honestly, would you have trusted another? I don't even know what other quarterback they had on the roster. Would you have trusted another quarterback being able to get the ball to Hunter as consistently?
Here's how I look at it. Right? Can you name the last time Colorado had two guys drafted inside the top 10?
Exactly.
It's gonna happen regardless of what we say. It's gonna happen. So the fact that in 2 years there, okay, yes, they haven't gotten to the playoff, but they've played some meaningful football games again. How much money do you think he's brought into that university since going there?
A lot.
Million. Do you see the quality of people he brings around there? Do you see who one of his defensive assistants is? Oh, I'm sorry, Warren Sapp, pretty good NFL player. Do you see who he is hiring as their new running backs coach? Marshall Faulk.
Really? Wow. Now, see, there's the other side of it, right? I haven't looked at like any of the recruiting class for this year, but
neither have I yet.
It's Deion Sanders. That right there alone, and the fact that he did sign that 5-year deal, that's going to show kids, hey, he's committed to staying here. Maybe I might want to go play for him.
Yeah.
So I don't really think he's going to have issues recruiting top-tier talent.
No, I don't either. And again, the transfer portal, NIL money changes everything. And also, Deion said it himself. The one thing he has said is this is why he really never put his name out there for NFL job, because he said, I can teach collegiate athletes how to play football. I can't teach pro athletes that. Because you know how the NFL players are. Exactly. They know more than everybody.
Yeah, you either got it or you don't.
Micah Parsons thinks he could be a full-time NFL player and a full-time podcaster, and look where that's gotten him. But anyway, no, Coach Prime has put, at worst, he has put Colorado back in some type of relevance in college football. Regardless if you like him or don't, you talk about it. You talk about Colorado. You talk about Shedeur. We still think Shedeur may not be a top 10 pick. We're still talking about him, though, aren't we?
Yep.
Travis Hunter is going to be one of the better young, talented prospects in the NFL because of Deion. They're always going to have a strong recruiting class because of who he is. He deserves every penny of that extension that he is getting. So, like I said, regardless of our opinion about Deion Sanders, he always is going to be respected by his peers. Again, two kids are going to be picked in the top 10 in a month. They're going to be at least a bowl game every year. And now with this extent, like we said, the playoff, the NIL money, all that stuff, it changes the game for everybody. This is why I keep telling people, okay, the new playoff system needs to be tweaked with. Yes. I'm not touching it right now because it's giving everybody a fair advantage, and I don't have to watch Alabama win 5 out of 6. I don't have to watch Georgia win 3 out of 4. I don't have to watch Ohio State win 5 out of 6, even though they won't do that because they're Ohio State. Will I agree that there's tinkers that need to be made? Yes. Seeding definitely needs to be worked out, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. But Coach Prime has put the University of Colorado, and I know a lot of people were upset with how he went there. Where he was coaching before, they felt that he kind of betrayed them and just went off to the bigger stage. Yeah, but it's not like he didn't take a job at Alabama, right? He didn't take a job at Georgia or Penn State, one of these bigger programs. He took a program that was slowly on the decline and has turned them back to at least being a relevant talking point around college football. Because guess what? No matter what you say about them, they're usually on ESPN or on ABC every Saturday night now. And like we said, they're getting, God knows how much money he's brought into that university. And again, the guy is bringing around NFL Hall of Famers to coach these kids. Dapp, Folk, like I said, he's got highly respected guys like Pat Shermer, who's a longtime NFL assistant and former head coach on his staff. The guy brings around good people, man.
Yeah. Like, you mean to tell me that these young kids, they're not going to want to come get coached by Marshall Folk? You know, future NFL running backs? You're telling me they're not going to want to go there? Now, granted, they're going to take a look at that offensive line.
Fair point.
But Anthony, hopefully, through recruiting, the O-line gets a little bit better.
Of course. Now, Anthony, hold on. College is not like the NFL.
They actually didn't even make the playoffs, so correction here for you, Anthony.
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs. But in college, there's more to it than just winning the national title. Some of these schools, they just want to have relevance. They want to have a direction for their football program. What was Colorado's freaking direction before Coach Prime got there? Nothing. The guy brought a premier talented athlete in Travis Hunter to that school. He brought his son. Yes, he is his son. Yes. But again, they're going to be drafted in the first round this year. I cannot tell you the last time 2 Colorado players got picked in the first round. Maybe that'll be next week's trivia guest, Tyler. But anyway. No, I won't do that to you.
Go ahead. I'll look it up right now.
No, let's not do that. But anyway, Coach Prime, 100% deserving. Like him or not, he's doing what he basically promised to do at Colorado. But anyway, Tyler, do we have anything else you want to talk about before we hit the old dusty trail here? Or are you actually looking this up?
I'm actually looking it up.
You're actually going to look this up real quick? Okay.
So Sam, do you want to know something very interesting? I found it. Wow. I had to go back a little bit to find this.
Tell it for the people.
2011. You know what, Sam? Guess who? Now is your trivia question. He's a former Patriots offensive lineman. Pro Bowler.
It's not like Logan Mankins, is it?
Nope.
All right, it's not Logan Mankins. Who's the guy that was he was with the New England, then he went to the Giants?
I think he played for the Giants too. Did he play for the Giants too? He did. He did play for the Giants too. You got the guy. Who's his name?
I can't, dude. I can't. I can see it. I can't remember his name. Please, I can't remember his name.
Nate Solder.
Yes, Nate Solder.
You know who the other one was that went towards the end of the first round? Jimmy Smith.
Really? Quarterback, right?
Yep. Corner.
Ravens?
Yep. Jimmy Smith. So yeah, it's been a while, and I don't think they've ever had 2 first-round picks since then. You're going back into the before I was born territory.
Yeah, you've had a couple of guys. Don't get me wrong, you've had a couple guys here and there taking like the 5th round and all, but that's about it.
Yeah, I got some 2nd rounders, 3rd rounders, but yeah, first rounders were hard to come by to begin with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With Colorado, so it's a good trend for a start.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to draw more players there.
Exactly, they're going to draw players regardless because he's there. And again, like, can you imagine being a running back prospect and you're like, I can learn from Marshall Faulk? Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
But no, again, like him or not, we talk about Colorado a lot.
We do
when the college football season rolls around. So, like I said, whether you like it or not, he's doing his job. Yeah, they've just been over 500, but guess what? They're back to playing relevant football again.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, What will happen next year? No Shador, no Travis Hunter. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know.
But that's a question we asked in late August.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Tyler, do we have anything else that we want to say for the people?
That's about all I got. Oh, and also congratulations to Frank Reich.
Yeah, shout out to Frank Reich.
Interim head coach. I don't know what the hell that means.
It's a 1-year agreement.
Okay.
He is under contract to be their head coach for 2025, and then that is it. It's Stanford. Now, I don't know if that was the school's decision or if it was Frank saying maybe he only wants to coach this year.
Might have been. Well, it could be. Frank might be like, you know what? Maybe I need to step away from the NFL for a year. Go coach a year at Stanford. Might get himself some more jobs, some more job opportunities in the NFL again next year. Whether it be, another offensive coordinator gig or depending on how well he does for Stanford, maybe a head coaching job somewhere.
My whole thing with Stanford is you're about to enter spring practice and you're just now finding an interim head coach. You couldn't figure this out.
Too. Yeah.
we couldn't have figured this. When did you not? Did you just wake up one day and say, "Oh yeah, we need a coach"?
I think they walked. They might have walked into like the training facility and they were like, "Where's the head coach? We don't have one."
How much NIL money do we have?
All right, let's go down the list here. Oh, Frank Reich, what's he up to?
Stanford's like the Cowboys. Saban. Oh wait, crap. But yeah, shout out to Frank Reich for getting the interim head coaching gig at Stanford. Good to see him back on the sidelines in some way when it comes to the game of football. Very respected minds in the NFL.
Who knows? He might mold the next great Stanford quarterback. We haven't seen one since Andrew Luck.
We haven't seen a lot of things since Andrew Luck. Like a good Colts team.
Oh, man, we're not ready for that conversation. Frank Reich isn't ready for that conversation.
Yeah, I don't think Frank Reich wants to hear about Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Episode 37 is in the books. Cannot believe we are literally only a few short, like month or two away from 50 episodes. Cannot believe we are closing in on 50 since returning. It's been a fun ride. It has been an absolutely fun ride. Real quick before we go, Carol says, have a great week. Go Phil. Carol, thank you. It's been a fun first couple of days in baseball for me. But anyway, guys, we hope you all have a safe rest of your day. Have a great week. We're going to get out of here before these storms roll in our area. If you are in our area or if you are anywhere that these storms are hitting, stay safe, stay well, and we will see you guys next Monday. Or I'm sure we're going to have some NFL stuff to talk about by this time next week. We always do. So guys, thank you all. What'd you say?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, God, I hope so. I'm tired of waiting. Get off the darkness retreat, okay? Please. But anyway, guys, we're going to go on a week-long darkness retreat. So have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll see you guys same time, same place next week. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.